But let's switch gears now and speak about the Osinbajo campaign, the agenda, and some of the issues that have been thrown up in the last few days. I've been joined by a chieftain of the party, Professor Hafiz Abubakar. Thank you so much, Prof, for joining us.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
What is it looking like for the Osinbajo team and the chances of the team ahead of the primaries?
Very brilliant. Brilliant in the sense that we have been doubly encouraged, honestly, by the steps taken by some of the notable northern governors. This meeting and press release about their position that the presidency should be zoned to the southern part of the country has been a wonderful encouragement. But even before that, the outcome of the intensive interactions that our candidate had with the delegates across this country, in fact, he was the only one out of the 23 candidates that was able to tour the whole of the 36 states in the FCT of this country, meet with the delegates, interact with the delegates, and we have heard the outcome of that intensive interaction. He didn't go there to lecture them or to even deliver a program. Actually, it was a full-fledged interaction by way of asking, allowing the delegates to ask him what they want to know about him, what has he for this country, what he understood through his tenure as number 2 of this country, and what does he have? And they ask very, very important questions that mind them.
So, Prof, I'd like to ask, the president has asked all of the aspirants, go to your different zones and try to get a consensus and streamline the numbers. Those are some of the instructions. But from what is looking like from the southwest, for example, that's where the vice president comes from. When it comes to streamlining and getting a consensus, it will be head-to-head with the likes of Bola Tinubu, the likes of Cardiff Fayemi, the likes of Boniface, Ajay Boniface. What are the chances of the vice president in even getting the nod from his own region, Southwest?
Well, it depends on who will be involved in this decision. But I want to believe, starting even from the stakeholders, I'm sure for every region of this country, Southwest in the lead, in my own opinion, will put this country first before any individual. And why you put this country first, my candidate comes number 1.
So, I mean, the question is the decision of the President, Muhammadu Buhari, as we call him, as he's been tagged, the super delegate, will be fundamental.
Yeah.
But what is his place with the president? Does it look like a favorite? I mean, have you read the body language of the president to give that inclination whether Osinbajo could be the man and the heart of President Buhari?
No, I've just heard a sitting governor telling you nobody can claim to read the body language of Mr. President. I'm very incompetent to say I can read the body language of Mr. President.
Can you do a permutation to see whether or not the president, because based on what he said, allow me to be able to pick my successor.
Yes.
In those words and in those language and some of the narrative that the president has pushed out in the last few days, does Professor Osinbajo look in the mode of the person that President Buhari might pick as successor?
When I heard a part of his speech where he's saying he wants a candidate that the voters of this country, even before election, would have picked themselves, it points to Professor Osinbajo, 1. 2, in all the interactions with delegates, Professor has made it very clear that he had an excellent working relationship with his principal, and his principal had taken him into confidence, in all what has been happening in government in this country, in which he thanked him severally for tutoring him in the course of governance because of his not hiding anything from him from government. And therefore, we from his camp believe that eventually it will come, because he's number one in redeeming the APC itself.
I mean, what do you make of, Professor Osinbajo be the aspirant that the president speaks, or the consensus candidate of the APC, or the man who emerges the winner in the APC? There will be a larger battle, a bigger one. That is the general election. And it's going to be against the likes of Peter Obi of the Labour Party, against the likes of Atiku Abubakar of the PDP. The permutation about a northerner facing a southerner in the race, is your party afraid of that kind of scenario?
No, certainly. No, certainly. Our party is not afraid of that. Our party is interested in springing the best candidate. And for quite a long time, since when this race started, everybody believes, Professor Osinbajo is the best candidate of the two parties, PDP inclusive, simply because he is the person that knows and understands the challenges of this country. And in all the interactions, in all the outings, he has displayed his full knowledge of the way forward in addressing the critical challenges of this country. And many have come to believe him in his own standing as Professor Yemi Osinbajo. And when you hear from the delegates what they are saying, about him, that they believe he's the best. And these are the two areas that they believe that he understood the challenges and he has the best, solutions.
But Prof, on a final note now, with the state of affairs of the country right now, can you vouch or preach about the capacity of the vice president? I mean, he's from the same administration, and some of you have talked about the challenges of this country.
Yeah.
How do you convince Nigerians that with what you've seen, with what is on the ground, there's a man within this system is the right candidate?
Of course. The fundamental issue of difference is the issue of authority. It's a fundamental rule in management. When you give a responsibility, you give an attaching authority before one becomes accountable. As number one, he will have the full authority to develop and implement, the agenda to address the challenges. Some of the challenges that we face, he has the inner, deeper knowledge of where they are coming from, and therefore he has the better knowledge of where the solutions will come from. And ab initio, from day one, after the swearing in at Eagle Square, he will go into action.
All right.
He doesn't need any space to learn on the job, to understand, to be briefed, and this country, needs that much precious time.
All right. Thank you, for Professor Hafiz Abubakar, for your time tonight, and I wish you and your team the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.